Hey everyone, Leo with Dreaming Tree, and today we're putting together our Hearts pop-up card. I've got everything cut out, as should you. The supply list is available on our website, as well as the PDF file that's included with your download. Well, you can use that to help you pick out your colors and such. And we're going to begin by putting together the actual card itself. Now you can see here, I've got the card base. I've already inked it inside and out, and this is AC cardstock. I've got the texture side out, and we're going to begin with just some simple paper piecing. First, there are some little indicators throughout, the inside as well as the outside, and that's going to help us make sure that we get everything in the right spot. So I'm going to begin by putting these hearts in place here. So grab your glue and start by putting some glue on one of these hearts. You'll notice that inside of the card here, you do have some markers to help you with the positioning of these hearts. Okay, so that one's going to go there. Now these pieces here are going to go right inside, and this is a great place in two sections here for a stamp or writing your little message. If you have a single line font or something that you want to use, you can write on this piece. It's just a simple little heart, and we're going to glue that right inside of this area here. You want to try to make sure to maintain an even border all the way around. Gotta give that a little bit of a nudge. That's good enough. Okay, and we'll grab our other heart and get that glued into place. The pop-up mechanism on this is pretty straightforward, not very difficult, but that also makes it quick while giving it that wow factor. Okay, so just make sure you get that all nice and lined up with the little markers there. Okay. And we'll get this heart in place. We'll see if we can get that a little more centered this time. Okay. Gonna look at the tip of the heart here, as well as the center. That's much better. That one wasn't too bad though. Okay, so now we've got these pretty little borders that are gonna go inside here. And you'll notice that in the corners here, we do have some markers to help you with the placement. Now, we've got a lot of little details on this piece here, so you're gonna have to move pretty quick here with the glue, but the secret here is gonna be to go easy on the glue and not use too much. So it's kind of a double whammy, because if you don't use a lot of glue, it tends to dry a lot faster. So we'll see how this goes, and it's possible that we may want to maybe do this in segments and do half of it at a time, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so just line that up with the little marker there in the corner. Make sure you got a nice even border along the right-hand side. That should match up nicely with the little marker there in the bottom right-hand corner. And that turned out nicely. That turned out nice. We do have these little hearts that get glued into the little corners here. So get a little bit of glue on the back of your heart and try to get those nice and centered as well. Like so. There we go. And I did ink these with a little bit of a purple, just so they didn't look so flat. A lot of pretty patterns and colors here. So if you're dealing with that, and then you have solid cardstock that isn't inked, it may stand out too much. Okay, so that actually worked pretty well. But I'll show you here, if it doesn't work out well for you, what you can do is maybe just do a part of it So we'll kind of just do 1/2 of this. And actually, yeah, I'll just show you that you can do it this way too. And you can actually hold it down here with a little more control. So get that lined up. Okay, so we got that part glued down. Now we can take this and flip this out and apply our glue to the rest of it so that we can kind of stagger it and break it up into smaller chunks, which gives you more time to get glue in all these little nooks and crannies to ensure that this thing doesn't go sliding around and ripping off. Okay, and the rest of it should just kind of fall into place, but I want to just guide it a little bit. There we go. Okay, so interior of the card is pretty much done. I can go over to, well, we need to start working on the mechanism first before we cover up anything else. So let's grab this heart here, and you can see there's little tabs down at the bottom. So grab those and make sure that you fold them over. And we have these 2 little pieces that we need to glue into place. They're going to cover up and sit right on top of the little hearts down on the corner here, just to kind of give it a 2-toned effect, just like that. And I hit this whole thing with a little bit of turquoise ink as well. Okay, get that in place. And you can see sitting right next to this piece on either side, we've got our white glitter, and that is also inked with a little bit of turquoise. We'll get that in place. And actually, before we do that, I want to make sure that you fold this in half, because that is where it's going to fold when we actually close the card up. So it's helpful to kind of loosen up those paper fibers a little bit. There we go. And you can see the little flowers that are cut into this. You just want to match that up with the flowers there, and the rest of it should fall into place. There's nothing quite like a white glitter with a little bit of turquoise inking on top of pinks and other turquoise colors. It really has a nice contrast and very pleasing to the eye. All right, so we'll get the other one in place, and then we have a couple little pieces that are going to kind of hang off of this heart here to complete our look. Okay, so we're going to get that in place. Make sure you line that up as accurately as you can. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. All right, so grab these pieces here. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? I'm kind of bouncing around here. Forgot to put these little hearts in the corners. Let's just do that real quick and get it done so we don't forget. This could be a handy time to break out the old pick-me-up tool if you have one. For those of you that have one, you know what I'm talking about. This is a little bit of a delicate piece. It's not quite at the size where you really need it, but it would definitely be helpful. Okay, great. All right, back to this guy. So we've got these 3 additional pieces that we need to put together, one for each side of the heart. Okay, so you've got this piece here, and you can go ahead and fold that. Now this heart is going to get glued right onto this section here, like so. Okay, so you'll notice that down at the bottom here, there's kind of like a sliver of a scallop. That is the center bottom of the heart. So you want to make sure you bring that all the way down, because you could technically glue it like this and still have some of that pink sticking out. You don't want that. You want to make sure that the center of the heart is covering up that little sliver. So what we want to do is put glue on just this half of the heart, like so, and just line that up with the little scallops there. There we go. Just like that, okay? And then we have this little piece with this additional little heart. You can go ahead and fold that there, and that's gonna get glued to the other half of the heart. So I think it'd be best to just put the glue on the actual back of this heart and get that right on top there. Make sure that it is in fact nice and lined up. There we go. Okay. And there we have it. So now this part is going to get glued to this section of the heart right on the back. Okay, let's see, which one is it? It's right here. You can see there's a little cutout there for a flower. And that flower is going to match up with this flower. And then you'll see there's a little hole there just below it. And that's where that needs to be glued down, just like that. So you've got little hearts coming off of it. Okay, so what we want to do, just to be safe here, is we're going to put our glue on the back of this piece. Okay, so we're going to start up here by the heart where it's kind of connected. Just work your way along the outer edge and maybe a little bit on the inside. And then we'll take this heart, this group of hearts I should say, and just get it connected to this little section here. And just press and hold that in place for a moment and let it set. There we go. Okay, so you can see what that looks like. Really pretty. All right, so let's go over here. We'll do this one more time and get this assembled. Okay, just like we did before, that's where that's going to be glued. Then we've got this main heart with the pattern. And again, it's going to go all the way down to the center of the bottom of the heart. So just make sure that you're getting your glue in the right spot. Or actually not the glue, but you're placing this in the correct spot onto this piece. And there we go. Just like that. Okay. And then, again, we're going to put glue on the back of this and connect that last little piece right there. Just line up all of the little scallops there on the edge of the heart. And there we go. Okay, and then finally, I'm going to go back here, and using this one, we can kind of see where the glue is going to need to go a little bit more accurately than the first time, where it was we were kind of guessing a little bit. Not much, but just a tad. Okay, and then pop that right behind and line up that first flower as well as the little dot, and then that second flower there at the bottom. Pop that right into place, and there we have it. So there's your little centerpiece, and that's really all there is to it. Okay, so now what we're going to do so next up, we're going to take this little centerpiece here. I'm going to take these tabs and put them right through the little slit on both sides. Okay, I want the tabs going up towards the top of the card like this, not down this way, but the other way. Okay, so they're going up towards the top of the card. Just slide those right in. There you go, and then close it up. Make sure it closes nicely. Okay, and kind of give these a little bit of a pull up if you can. It should be pretty tight. We'll put a little bit of glue on the underside of this. I'll thin that out real nice so it doesn't warp the paper. And then just go ahead and push it up again towards the top of the card and press down. Okay, we'll do the same thing on the other side. So you can see how simple this mechanism is. And we're not even 20 minutes into the assembly on this and we're almost done. So this is gonna go together very quickly. Okay, and there's your test. Beautiful, works beautifully. And now, just a matter of covering up that little tab there. And we've got this piece for the front. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our glue onto this piece here. Just work the perimeter, make sure you get enough glue around the edge. And then a little bit along the inside, especially up here at the top where we're going to be covering up that little tab. Whoops. Okay, we do have some markers here in the corner to help you with the placement and the centering of this, just to make sure you get it spot on. And press down, especially up here where that tab is. I love this card. It's very pretty. These papers, of course, none other than Graphic 45. They never disappoint. Okay, there's that. And then go on the back here. We're going to take this full sheet and get that glued into place. So again, focus on the perimeter, and of course we're going to need a little bit of glue, a little extra glue around where the tab is, so up here, and then just fill it in. And again, use those markers there. Line it up with the markers so that everything looks flawless. So we've got these two hearts, and what we're going to do, you can see that I've also embossed this. I'm trying to decide how I'm going to do this and which parts I want showing. I think I'm going to go like this with the debossed on the front. I'm not sure. Decisions. Yeah, I think that looks better actually. Okay, so anyway, you got to fold them in half and put glue on the bottom on one side here, and it may be difficult to actually glue the debossed part down, so we'll see. Probably not. But anyway, there are some little markers here. There's a center mark and then a mark for the tip, pardon my head here for a second, for our heart here. Just make sure you got that nice and centered. Okay, I think that's going to work just fine. And there you go. And then just make sure you've got that lined up correctly. If you did emboss, make sure you've got the embossing lined up with the embossing and the debossed part lined up with the debossed part. Okay, and I just want to make sure that we get this nice and centered here so that the hearts are essentially touching in the middle so that it looks like a seamless heart. There we go, just like that. Kind of squeeze those together, and there you go. And then the cool thing is this will fold flat, but it'll also be sort of interesting because you've got a dimensional heart sticking out. Here, we're actually going to leave that blank because we don't want to overload this too much for mailing. And then it opens up. You got your beautiful centerpiece here. You could also cut out some photos here. You can put a photo of yourself, your husband, or maybe your daughter and her husband, or son and wife, whoever it may be. Beautiful card. Very simple, very elegant. But definitely take a look at the photo, because I'll do a couple things later on just to jazz this up. We'll definitely, well, actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, we're going to throw a couple rhinestones here and there, but really tiny ones, nothing too big. Okay, so finally, we've got the envelope here, and here is the back of the envelope flap. And just need to get that glued into place, which is going to require glue in all of these little areas here. Not too much though, don't overdo it. I don't want this to warp. Let's look pretty. So nice and thin, easy does it. And I'm kind of using the nozzle of my glue bottle to kind of smush this glue down and keep it nice and thin. Okay, so take this piece, I did ink the very edge of this, bring it in up against the little fold there, and then make sure you've got it centered, and then just take this and bring it down. There you go, push that into place. Should make good contact around all those hearts. And I think we're gonna omit the bling on this as well, because it might be too bulky. And I think it's pretty enough the way it is. Okay, but see, you've got a beautiful little flap there. Now to finish off the envelope, just take the sides in, fold them in, and again, we're gonna go very thin on the glue here. Just go very easy on the glue here, right along the inside part of the flap, of the left and right flaps, I should say. Very, very thin amount of glue. And just take that and fold it up. And push that glue, make sure it gets into the paper fibers nicely. And just be patient while that sets. Of course, I'm not going to be, because I want to show you that it fits. And you can see how nicely that fits and closes, nice and flat. And there is your beautiful card. So that's pretty much it for this one. Probably about 20 minutes, I'd say. And then you've got not that many pieces to cut out either. So factor in maybe about 10 minutes for cutting, 30 minutes, you've got yourself a beautiful card. And again, I would definitely take the time to customize this and either add a photo of yourself and your loved one, or write your little sentiment there. If you got a stamp that fits there, that's great too. But definitely one of a kind, quick, beautiful, elegant. What more can you ask for? But that pretty much wraps it up for this one. Hope you enjoyed the process. If you did, head over to our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. And while you're there, hit the little bell so that you get notifications anytime we release a new product, whether it be free or paid. And if you make this or anything from our new bundle, I would love to see it. And so would the 27,000-ish other dreamers that inspire us daily on our Facebook group. So head over to your Facebook, do a search for Dreaming Tree Group, or you can type in this little URL and it'll take you directly there. So anyway, hope you guys are having a great day, and I look forward to crafting with you again.